The Village Boy Podcast welcomes you. And if you aren't already subscribed, please subscribe. We want to be able to retain you by our content. Like the page if you can. Take a minute to just like the page, subscribe. Let's have a conversation. So, in Trump's semi State of the Union, which is really not a State of the Union, being that he's not been there for that long to have a State of the Union, joint session address, he mentioned Lesotho. Lesotho is a beautiful country in Africa, the southern part of Africa. Matter of fact, Lesotho has an interesting it's a interesting landscape. It's a country within a country. It is totally surrounded by South Africa. It's a beautiful, beautiful country. And Trump did mention something about this country. I think it's the country that has the highest altitude, right? I think it's very mountainous, a beautiful, beautiful culture of people. And the population is 2.3 million people. Very small, size of probably Rhode Island, right? Something like that. And Trump mentioned Lesotho in his joint session speech for a couple of days ago. And what did Trump say specifically? And that has had people, a lot of people, triggered because everything Trump says triggers people. This is what Trump said.
$40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is.
That's right. This is a funny president. He's quite funny. I mean, you could hate him, but that's kind of funny, right?
$8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of.
And that's the part, the African country of Lesotho, nobody has ever heard of. And this is the part that is offending a lot of people. And for me, I see things differently for most people. For me, it's an opportunity. It is an opportunity that has been given to the people of Lesotho. Now, Lesotho, good or bad, is trending. It's on the map. I mean, otherwise, who will be talking about? Even if you knew that this country existed, who will be talking about Lesotho? Who will be having a conversation, good or bad, about Lesotho? People might get emotional and say, well, he kind of disparaged Lesotho. So we're going to go to Twitter here shortly and see if Lesotho is trending since Donald Trump had the conversation to understand if it's good or bad, right? Because I'm always against the initial reaction, people being emotional. I mean, if you get emotional that, oh, he said something, but get over it so fast. Let's talk business and let's talk opportunity. For me, it's opportunity and the ability to see if people are having that conversation and what can you benefit from that narrative. Let's switch over to X. We're going to switch here and then we're going to type Lesotho trending and let's see what we get. Okay, Dr. Catherine Lefotu, right? Not Lesotho trending. Thank you, real Donald Trump. So this is kind of like my idea. These are the kind of people that I would go right now and follow her page because these are people for me that would intrigue me. People that see opportunity in everything. Look at Lesotho. And this was March 5th. Today is the 6th. So this number would have gone up, right? This was March 5th, right? This is 20,000 posts about Lesotho. Now tell me any time in history that Lesotho would attract 20,000 posts. Anytime. It's not a footballing nation. It's a beautiful country, but there's a lot of beautiful countries. So tell me anytime if there's not a natural disaster that happened, Lesotho has been known as, oh, they have this ratio of age, negative things, right? And even at that, it would not generate 20,000 posts in a day. And so, how do you capitalize on things like this? How do you capitalize on opportunities like this? You do what Wuremaya did. Wuremaya is an African blogger, a YouTuber who decided to bring Trump up to speed. It's not that Trump cares about Wuremaya. It's not about Trump cares about Lesotho or he needs to know about Lesotho. But this is what Wuremaya did. And this is how much, look at the views, 565,000 views. It's the second time because he already posted this video on his YouTube. He already posted this video on his Twitter. But he decided because Trump talked about it to put it back in the news. That is share capitalization. This is capitalism at its finest. Using a means to an end, right? Look at that. 565,000 views. I would like it. 16,000 likes. Well, let's go ahead and watch for a little bit what Udemaya is talking.
The beauty of this country is really mind blowing. I'm not talking about artificial beauty, I'm talking about natural. Like, this is indeed the kingdom in the sky.
Welcome to Lesotho, the country unique for being surrounded by mountains, and therefore it has a nickname called the Kingdom in the Sky.
And one of the things that really stands out with the mountains that you see in this country is that each and every mountain that you see is so unique. Look at my background. What do you see? Yeah?
I love the beauty, the nature, the mountains. Everywhere you look, there's mountains everywhere. Just natural beauty. Yeah. It's great.
Doesn't just looking at that scenery, it looks like New Zealand, where those movies are being acted. This is the opportunity we're talking about. Now you're exposing Lesotho, even though it came out of a conversation that you may not have liked, you may not have been comfortable with, but the world, 500, you know the population of Lesotho? 2.3 million. This is over a quarter of the population that have watched this video. And now a lot more people are talking about it. But you shouldn't only talk about it. You should be able to buy a ticket. If you're really upset at Donald Trump, if you really despise Donald Trump, buy a ticket and visit Lesotho. Spend some of your dollars in Lesotho. Let the people have your tourism money. This is how Hollywood, I know you hate Donald Trump. I know you detest Donald Trump. Don't just hate the man. Go make your movies in Lesotho. They have the sceneries, your Lord of the Rings, your movies that need this natural background. Look at Lesotho. Maybe you did not know. Now you know. Maybe you didn't have any idea. You ran up to New Zealand, beautiful countries. New Zealand, beautiful country. Australia, beautiful country. This country, Scotland, Lesotho is like that. But nobody gave them an opportunity. Now Trump has talked about it, and nobody knew Lesotho. The vast majority of what reason would you know Lesotho? Everybody picks up the African map and just reads it and say, "Oh, look at this country, country within a country." No, if you're really not from Africa, what are you knowing Lesotho about? What is it known for? Is it what country? What is it known for? So it's not an issue if somebody says, "Well, a country nobody knows about," because the vast majority of Europeans, the vast majority of Americans may have heard, but they don't really know it like that. Especially Americans. Americans don't know much about anything outside of America, even much outside of their environment. So it's not unheard of that 350 million people don't know about Lesotho. But you want to welcome that. You want to put the positive side of Lesotho on the map. Now, talking about that $8 million, let's watch that again.
$8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho.
Okay, so he did say $8 million to promote LGBTQI plus in the African nation of Lesotho, right? But now, what's the main LGBT group saying about that $8 million? What are they saying? And this is what they're saying. This is what they're saying. Lesotho LGBT, I had 2.3 million people, and they have a group. Okay, the Lesotho's main LGBT group says the people. The name is the People's Matrix. The Matrix. On Wednesday said that it had not received $8 million. And what is the value of $8 million? I had it here somewhere. $8 million to Loti is about 146 million Loti. I don't know the weight of that in their local currency, but it's 146. But 146 can that might be a lot of money for them. I don't know the weight of that currency vis-a-vis the dollar, but that's the exchange rate. And let's go back here, and we said the group said they didn't receive any $8 million. We are literally not receiving grants from the US. People's Matrix, we have no idea of the allocation of $8 million. He said, we do not know who received or is going to receive that money. Let's pause there for a minute. Let's pause there for a minute. In America, we're being told that $8 million of American taxpayer dollars went to Lesotho, to this nation that nobody knows about, says the president of the republic. And the advocate group, the LGBT advocate group in Lesotho, says we did not get any money. Common sense will have you think this is where the Democrats jump in. This is where the middle party, the party of reason that is neither here nor there, would say, okay, let's look into this data. Where did you get the 8 million? Can we get to the bottom of this? Because I don't know, maybe Elon, who you guys know by now that I'm not the biggest fan of, maybe Elon Musk. This is just numbers that are made up because they're saying they did not get the money. So who's right here and who's wrong? Who got the money, right? Also, on one hand, Lesotho is getting this press and use it to your advantage. I want to see tourism in Lesotho go up after this conversation. I want to see Lesotho everywhere. I want to see it billboards every. In fact, come to America, spend $1 million to have Lesotho is welcoming Americans to Lesotho, plastered everywhere. Go to MSNDNC and they will gladly do it for free because they want to stick it up to Trump. Use these things to your advantage, people. Go to MSNDNC, go to the liberal media, go to all of this left-leaning media, the people of Lesotho, and tell them that you want to put your country to attract Americans to come spend summer, come spend holiday. The liberal media will do it for free to stick it up to Trump. That's how you win this conversation. But coming back to this $8 million. So the advocate group over there says they did not get this money. You could see it in the newspaper. They did not get the money. The money that's coming in is for HIV and AIDS research, right? So who is right? Is the president right? Is this advocate group right? Who's right? How do the people know the truth? This is where the people in the middle, the people that are supposed to be the middle ground, the people that can reach both sides, come in and say, let's look at those numbers. Let's follow the money. Because how do we trust now that Elon is actually speaking? This is nobody has access to what Elon is saying. They just put data out there. Follow the money, $8 million. Let's follow the paper trail. Can we see the paper trail that it left from here? It went over. It was actually $8 million. Was it allocated? I never got there. Was this somebody wrote in the bill that this $8 million was allocated for this particular purpose? Is that what it was? Right? $8 million to the kingdom of Lesotho. It's a kingdom. Respect the people. It's not a nation. It's a kingdom. Call it the way it is. Lesotho is a kingdom. Let's respect the people. So $8 million. Can we see the allocation? Was it allocated? Was it funded? Was the money released and it went over there? We could get all hyped by this narrative. But when the group is saying that they never got a penny, then you want to follow the money. If you truly believe that the money was never distributed, it was allocated. Allocation is one thing; it means the money never got dispersed, right? Somebody went in there and said, "We're going to allocate $8 million." Did it leave the revenue? Did the money leave and head to this kingdom? And when it got there, who got the money? In whose bank account was the money deposited? Let's have this narrative, but there's no party in the middle to ask these tough questions. Congress does not exist. The middle ground Congress does not exist. And here you have Republicans running riot because the left is all emotional. They're protesting. What are you protesting for? Instead of asking tough questions. People in Lesotho are saying they didn't get the money. The president is saying 8 million was distributed. sent out, and we don't have people level-headed, focus on the business and say, let's get to the end of this. We want to understand that it does not make sense that America is selling an agenda to a independent sovereign kingdom. It doesn't make any sense. Now, if that money was for HIV research, HIV retroviral drugs, this type of things, yes, we want to be able to assist. And I've always said, you teach a man to fish, you don't give a man a fish. So in the short term, you're assisting. But these nations need to be able to become independent, self-sufficient, and be able to do these things for themselves. That's why they elect, I think they have a prime minister in Lesotho, and they have a king. It's a kingdom. You have to be able to, you have a problem with HIV AIDS. You have to be able to tell America who's coming to say, okay, thank you for the funding. But we want to be able to have laboratories. We want to be able to have pharmaceutical companies that use our natural resources, that of our neighbors, to build the pharmaceutical products that we can consume for ourselves. So that you're not constantly having to dole out American aid for the next generation. When is it going to stop? When is this funding for projects like that ever going to stop? When there's an opportunity to teach the people over there how to be self sufficient. Africa is blessed with a lot of natural resources, herbs that the white people come take these herbs back to America, process them, turn them into medication. But they're not doing it in Africa. They're just dependent on aid. For over 60 years since independence, countries have been receiving aid for 60 years. Has this not a problem for anybody, any reasonable person? How can you get aid for 60 years? You're now a 60-year-old person. That's the time you should be getting aid because you cannot longer be productive. So now you should be getting aid because you should be retiring. And you're still getting aid. Your children are going to get aid for 100, 100, 100, 100 years. All the illnesses that plague Africa should be problems that Africans are resolving for themselves, but they're still depending on aid. So I'm not sad that Trump is cutting aid. I want to follow the money. Was the money allocated? If it was just allocated, let's have a conversation that it was allocated. Let's not paint the picture the money was sent for this particular purpose. And all of these projects going out to sell far left progressive liberal agendas need to stop. If they are true, they need to stop. There's no benefit to the world that you're going out there to give even $10,000. Use your personal funds. If you have it, you have George Soros, you have these rich billionaires on the left. Use these people to drive your agenda. Do not use taxpayer money to sell your agenda. And so, to wrap up this video, the president has put them on the world map. They now need to capitalize on that, make themselves an attractive place where people want to come and get to know them and spend the money. Because there's a lot of people that have Trump derangement syndrome that will travel and come there. This is your initial base, the Trump derangement folks. This is your base. So capitalize on that. Everything is an opportunity. Everything that Trump says should be seen as an opportunity for you to capitalize on. It's your host, Tres. Do not forget to like and subscribe. Bye.